Why did Ford, and what was the original story of why they went to single overhead cam for example, the Pinto, the Escort, eventually the Explorer, the F-150, the Mustang? And here's what happens. If you search, why did Ford switch to single overhead cam? Everybody talks about the camera, but the story kind of stops there. What a lot of people don't realize is they developed the single overhead cam at their different plants. The Lima, Ohio plant built the Pinto engine. Then the Dearborn, Michigan plant built the CVH engine that was single overhead cam for the Escort. And then they eventually developed the modular engines in Windsor, Ontario, which went into pretty much every Ford vehicle you could possibly think of. They started, they put it in the Mustang in 96. They put it in the Thunderbird in 94. They had the Pinto for 10 years with single overhead cam. They had the Escort for 2 decades with single overhead cam. Why did Chevy stick with that? And the answer that I've gotten is, let's just take a popular vehicle like the Silverado and the Sierra, 2 popular vehicles that every couple of years probably sells 2 to 3 million vehicles in North America. Well, it's rumored that just a single overhead camshaft would cost $200 to $300 per vehicle if they were to switch from, let's say, the small block pushrod to a single overhead cam. And now that everything's dual overhead cam, the cost would probably be closer to $400 to $500. So that's sort of the answer. Is Ford developed the technology much earlier. They saw the success of global vehicles like the Fiat 128, and they developed and perfected the 2.3 on vehicles like the Pinto. So it's not a coincidence. Just think of it. 2.3 Pinto, 4.6 modular. They basically just doubled the size of their single overhead cam modular engines that were developed in the United States. And then they basically, the Windsor, Ontario plant started producing modular engines after that. So Ford has a totally different history of why they did single overhead